Lowcountry GO is a commuter program created by the Berkeley-Dorchester-Charleston Council of Governments. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down one-on-one with Vonnie Gilreath with the Berkeley-Dorchester-Charleston Council of Governments. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Vonnie Gilreath, it is so good to meet you.
Great, nice to see you today too.
I appreciate it greatly. Obviously, you're the mobility manager for the Berkeley-Charleston-Dorchester Council of Governments.
Yes.
What is it like to be you these days?
Well, we certainly get a lot of requests for how to get from point A to point B, and that's my job. So we get requests from seniors who need to find rides to doctor's appointments, to commuters who want to know how to get on CARTA or where they can get the best bike ride. So we have a lot of changes going on right now with our infrastructure. So we do get a lot of questions about how to get places.
How many more questions do you have about the infrastructure here in the Lowcountry?
Well, the Berkeley-Charleston-Dorchester Council of Governments is the regional planning agency, so certainly we're on top of all the projects with federal dollars and also with the local dollars. So I try to attend all the meetings to look at it from a bicycle pedestrian and also from the standpoint of those who are disabled.
And we always talk about transportation here in this particular area of the Lowcountry. What is the state of the transportation in your mind?
Well, we're ever evolving, and with the population moving to our region as quickly as we are, we've all certainly heard the numbers, it's going to continue to be a challenge. It's always about, as a planner, I know that it's always about the land use. So if you zone a property a certain way and you zone it multifamily, then we need to provide that infrastructure for those folks that are going to be living there.
And how does the land use look right now in these particular areas?
Well, we have, what I have seen in the Charleston area in particular is you're not going out as much as you're going up, and I think that we'll be seeing more of that in the region.
And let me get back over to a promotional event that you guys have, because I just got this particular press release just a couple of days ago, and it's the Lowcountry Commuter Challenge, and it offers prizes for smart commuting between October 22nd and 26th, that is. And I know that the press release reads like this: Lowcountry residents who trade in driving alone for a more sustainable commute could win tasty prizes in October.
Oh, tasty prizes! I love that, tasty prizes, and that's absolutely true. We have. Well, first of all, we'll back up and say that we have a commuter program managed by the Council of Governments, the BCD-COG, and it's in partnership with the Department of Transportation. We're actually funded by DOT. It's a pilot program, again, to get people to carpool, vanpool, take transit. It's called Lowcountry GO. And we put it together with a great steering committee of our employers and our elected officials, and we kicked it off 6 months ago. And again, our job is to get you to do anything but drive by yourself to work, because we know that 90% of the people are driving by themselves to work. So our first big kick out of the gate with big events is our Lowcountry, and that is a commuter challenge that starts this coming Monday on October 22nd. It's through the week.
Right.
And you can go up to our website at lowcountrygo.com, or you can go to our phone app.
Right.
We just launched the phone app about a month ago, and we have had 350 people already download the app.
Great.
But you can go up to either one of those sites and you can find somebody to carpool with. You can next week, Quintin, you can go up there, and I know that you walk to work, so you could log in, you go download our app or go to our website and log in your trip every day after you do your commute,
Right.
and you'll be eligible for the prizes. We have Harris Teeter gift certificates, we have gas cards, we have all kinds of incentives and rewards, and we're just so excited to get our first year.
And you talk about carpooling, and you obviously talked about the percentage of people who are, using different modes of transportation. I want to go back to the top of the press release. It reads this: Lowcountry residents who trade in driving alone for a more sustainable commute. Can you tell me a number of residents that are doing that right now?
Well, when we started this program, we did an initial survey with our employers, and that was the focus of this particular study. We do not have the data. We're actually pulling that data up now for our long-range plan on how many are biking to work. But that's the kind of information after we've just launched, and this is a very data-intensive pilot program. So we're getting our data really through the major employers, because we did a survey with 35 employers, and we're really going to be concentrating on them over the next year. And with the different strategies, we did a survey with our employers, and now we'll go back and see how our strategies have worked over the next 1 to 3 years. Because changing behavior, as you know, is the hardest thing to do. And that's why we want to have this Lowcountry Commuter Challenge.
And when you talk about those employers, who are they in your mind?
Who are they?
The employers.
Well, we've done a lot of work with MUSC.
Okay.
We've been over at Boeing. We've been to Roper St. Francis. So we are about to go into Joint Base Charleston. It's a little different with the federal. It takes a little bit longer to get those approvals to get in. We work with the VA hospital, so we're really targeting at least this first 2 years, the major employers. But I think we may be working with the school districts starting next January for a school pool, because we know that adds 25% of the traffic on the road every day. Because when the schools are out, it's a lot easier to get to and from where you're going.
And when you look back at traffic to, here in the city of Charleston and the Lowcountry, where does your mind go to?
I certainly would like to see more people using transit. And we want them using carpooling, but kind of the low-hanging fruit right now is the transit. The CARTA that we had 5 years ago is not the CARTA we have today, and as we move forward over the next few years with the bus rapid transit, it's going to be, again, ever-changing. But I would certainly encourage people to try, and that's the purpose of our our challenge next week, is to try walking, biking, taking transit. I live in West Ashley, and I'm going to be taking transit to our office over in North Charleston. It may take me a little bit longer, but I'm certainly willing to give that a try.
And let me go back to the program, the Lowcountry GO program.
Yes.
Obviously, it connects real commuters with real solutions. What are your solutions for traffic and transportation in the next 5 years in your mind?
Well, with this is a program. This is not infrastructure. This came out of a study that was done for 526, and there were some programmatic recommendations, and that is, again, to get people to carpool, vanpool, take transit, walk, bike, and we didn't even get started on the telecommuting.
Right.
And working from home, I've seen a big difference in that in the last 5 years. And especially with one of our hospital systems, they now need more clinical space. So they want to free that. So they want people working remotely so that they can free up that space that will give them some more funds. So we're seeing a lot more. Spaywar has a lot of, their population is telecommuting. So we want people doing that. And the other thing to mention is if they're on our rideshare program, if they register under lowcountrygo.com or our phone app, and they're on our list, and they're eligible for emergency ride home. And this is for transit riders too. It's a reimbursable program up to 3 times a year. And I got a request this morning from somebody who had to stay late at work, and so they took an Uber home, so we will reimburse. I reimbursed, or not me, but the program is reimbursed for somebody who had a flat tire going home from work and had to take a cab. So that's another great benefit. Again, it definitely will help those that are in transit that need to stay at work.
And you talked earlier about Carter and the biggest difference between when they started to now.
Yes.
Why should I ride Carter?
Well, I think that you should ride CARTA because you don't have to sit in traffic. You can use your Wi-Fi on there. I find it very relaxing to take CARTA, and we do some training with people who are not used to taking transit, and just getting over that hurdle of how do you pay for it, how do you get on. But once they get on, particularly on that commuter route from Somerville to Charleston, those are a little bit bigger buses, and we did a grant about 2 years ago. We should be getting in 16 new commuter buses, so there's a lot of changes. It's we're phasing out those older buses and getting the newer buses. And for those of our residents who are disabled, they know already that we have a different kind of vehicle for them.
And when you think of obviously the Berkeley-Charleston-Dorchester Council of Governments, how do you explain that to somebody like me?
What the agency does?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
we're a regional agency. We do water quality planning, land use planning. We do comprehensive plans. We have done Blue Trails grants. We have done, we're working on a brownfield project right now. So again, our role is to help our jurisdictions and to help our region. And we also, of course, have our transportation side. We're a metropolitan planning organization, so we have two boards with your elected officials to advise us on what we should be doing.
And what should you be doing next as far as transportation and infrastructure?
Well, I can't speak as much to the infrastructure other than we certainly want to make sure from a mobility management standpoint that we provide that accessibility for biking, walking, transit, making transit easy to access for those who are disabled and seniors. So from our mobility management standpoint, we want to make sure that the accessibility is there.
And I know that when we talked off camera, you told me that you actually came here to the College of Charleston for your education, and now obviously you're the mobile, management manager for the Berkeley-Dorchester-Charleston Council of Governments. Who is Vonnie?
Vonnie Gilreath is somebody who was born and raised here in Charleston. I've lived in other areas, and that's what's so exciting when you see where we're going with CARTA, and you've lived in cities like Atlanta or Boston, and in Jacksonville just got a bus rapid transit down there, and that was exciting to see. So Vonnie Gilreath is a person who's from the area, who understands the area, and I'm just increasingly excited and amazed at what's happening here.
That's so great to hear. Well, Vonnie Gilreath, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.